Noah is standing before an unfinished ark. There are no storm clouds, no water rising, no animals gathering at the door, only a command that makes almost no sense. Build a vessel large enough to preserve life, because the world around you is about to disappear. Most people know why Noah survived. Genesis calls him righteous, blameless in his generation, a man who walked with God. But when Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher are placed beside that familiar account, Noah's selection begins to look far more deliberate. He was not chosen only because he was better than the people around him. He was chosen because something had to cross the flood. Life had to cross. A family had to cross, knowledge had to cross, and most importantly, divine order had to cross. Enoch reveals that Noah's role was announced from the beginning of his life. Jasher shows him standing as a witness while his generation collapses, and Jubilees reveals what he was expected to carry into the world after the waters receded. One text explains the sign, one explains the man, one explains the mission, and together they raise a question much larger than why Noah entered the ark. Why was this one man trusted to become the bridge between two worlds? The familiar story begins with a sentence so simple that its consequences are easy to miss. Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Then Genesis describes the earth as corrupt and filled with violence. Humanity has distorted its way, judgment is approaching, and Noah is commanded to construct the ark exactly as God instructs him. He does not negotiate, he does not redesign the vessel. The text repeatedly emphasizes that Noah did everything he was commanded to do. That obedience matters, because the ark is not built by someone who understands the entire plan. It is built by someone willing to follow the plan before he can see the reason for it. But Enoch takes the investigation further back. Long before Noah becomes an old man warning the world, the book of Enoch places a mystery around his birth. First Enoch chapter 106 describes Lamech seeing his newborn son and becoming terrified. The child's appearance is extraordinary. His hair is described as white like wool. His eyes illuminate the house. He opens his mouth and blesses the Lord. Lamech looks at the child and fears that he may not be entirely human. He wonders whether the infant resembles the sons of heaven. And in a world already haunted by the transgression of the watchers, that fear is not irrational. The boundary between heaven and earth has already been violated. Angelic beings have descended. Forbidden unions have taken place. Giants have appeared. So when Lamech sees something unusual in his son, he does not immediately see a miracle. He suspects corruption. He goes to Methuselah. Methuselah goes to Enoch. And Enoch provides the answer. The child is truly Lamech's son, but his unusual birth is a sign. Enoch declares that a great destruction will come over the earth, yet this child will remain. Noah and his 3 sons will survive when humanity around them is destroyed. His name and his purpose are connected before he is old enough to make a single decision. That changes the beginning of Noah's story. In Genesis, Noah appears as a righteous adult chosen before the flood. In Enoch's, his life is marked as significant from birth. He is born into the final generation of the old world, but he is identified as belonging to what comes after it. He is surrounded by the consequences of the watchers, yet he is not part of their corruption. He looks unusual enough to cause fear, but the answer from Enoch is not that Noah carries the contamination of the rebellious angels. The answer is the opposite. Noah is the one through whom humanity will be preserved from what that rebellion produced. His birth becomes a separation. The world has blurred every boundary. Heavenly beings have abandoned their appointed place. Humanity has abandoned righteousness. Violence has replaced order. But Noah is identified as the man through whom the line will continue. He is not merely another child born before the catastrophe. He is the first human life in the story, deliberately pointed toward the world beyond it. And yet a sign at birth is not enough. Noah still has to become the kind of man who can carry that responsibility. That is where Jasher moves the story from prophecy into human experience. Jasher describes Noah growing in the ways of Methuselah, perfect and upright before God, while the people surrounding him move in the opposite direction. Everywhere else, corruption multiplies. People teach one another evil practices. They create their own gods. They rob their neighbors. Rulers take women by force. The earth fills with violence. Noah does not preserve righteousness in a peaceful environment. He preserves it while nearly every structure around him rewards the opposite. This is important because Noah's righteousness is not portrayed as isolation from evil. He sees it. He lives inside it. He watches generation after generation surrender to it. And according to Jasher, he speaks against it. God gives that generation a period of 120 years to turn from its ways. Noah and Methuselah proclaim the warning day after day, but the people refuse to listen. They do not lack time. They lack the will to change. The man who will preserve humanity is first required to spend years trying to rescue the humanity that mocks him. Noah is not silently preparing his own escape. He is carrying a warning. The same voice that tells him judgment is coming also sends him back toward the people under judgment, day after day, year after year. The ark may have been the most visible part of Noah's assignment, but it was not the first. Before Noah became a builder, he became a witness. And Jasher adds an even more revealing detail. Noah initially refrains from taking a wife. He believes the earth is about to be destroyed, and he asks why he should bring children into a world facing judgment. It is a dark but understandable response. Why establish a family when the future appears to have been canceled? But the text says the Lord chose Noah to raise up seed upon the earth. Therefore, Noah's family is not presented merely as a private blessing. His family is part of the preservation plan. Noah must have descendants because the flood will not be the end of humanity. The judgment is coming, but so is a future. Jasher turns Noah's marriage, his sons, and the survival of his household into one connected mission, the continuation of human life after the collapse of the existing world. Now the selection becomes clearer. Noah is righteous, but he is also teachable. He receives a warning and repeats it. He receives a command and obeys it. He faces a future he cannot imagine and still prepares a family to enter it. These are not random virtues. They are exactly the qualities required of someone who must preserve more than himself. But Jubilees introduces the detail that transforms the entire story. According to Jubilees chapter 5, Noah alone is accepted in that corrupt generation, and his sons are saved on his account. The reason given is not simply that he avoided violence. It says his heart was righteous in all his ways, and that he did not depart from what had been commanded concerning him. Noah's righteousness is described as alignment. The world has abandoned its appointed order. Noah has not. The watchers left their proper domain. Humanity corrupted its way. Even creation is described as moving outside its appointed boundaries. But Noah remains inside the pattern given to him. That is why the repeated statement that he did exactly as commanded matters so much. The ark is built according to a revealed design. The animals are preserved according to their kinds. The family enters in a specific order. The days are counted. The waters rise. The waters recede. Noah waits. He does not force the door open the moment the rain stops. He sends the raven, then the dove. He waits again. The same man who obeyed before the flood continues to obey inside the silence after it. And when he finally steps onto dry ground, his work is still not finished. This is where many versions of the story begin to fade. The family survives. The rainbow appears. Humanity starts again. But Jubilees refuses to treat the post-flood world as an empty page. Noah immediately becomes a guardian of covenant. He offers sacrifice. He teaches his sons laws concerning blood. He establishes boundaries around life. He commands his descendants to practice righteousness, honor their parents, love their neighbors, reject sexual corruption, and avoid the very forms of lawlessness that destroyed the earlier world. The survivor becomes a teacher. The builder becomes a lawgiver within his family. The man who preserved bodies must now preserve a way of living. Jubilees says Noah began instructing his descendants in the ordinances, commandments, and judgments he knew. That means the ark carried something no inventory of animals could record: memory. Noah remembered what the old world became. He remembered the warning. He remembered the pattern that had been violated, and he was expected to teach that memory to people who had never seen the world before the flood. Without that instruction, the new generation would possess life, but not wisdom. They would inherit the earth, but not understand why the previous inhabitants lost it. And that created another problem, because according to Jubilees, the flood did not remove every spiritual consequence of the pre-flood rebellion. Evil spirits begin afflicting Noah's descendants. Noah cries out to God on behalf of his family. He does not merely defend them with physical strength. He prays. He asks for deliverance, and angels teach him about medicines and herbs that can be used against the diseases afflicting his children. Then Noah does something critical. He writes the knowledge in a book, and he gives that book to Shem. Now the pattern is impossible to ignore. Noah preserves animals, Noah preserves his family, Noah preserves commandments, Noah preserves medicinal knowledge, and Noah transfers that knowledge to the next generation. This is why his selection cannot be reduced to personal righteousness alone. Many righteous people can refuse corruption. Noah had to preserve order while everything around him was being dismantled. He had to receive knowledge without corrupting it. That distinction stands at the center of the larger story. The Watchers also brought knowledge, but their instruction broke boundaries. It produced domination, violence, seduction, warfare, and disorder. Noah receives knowledge from faithful heavenly messengers for the protection of life. Then he writes it down and entrusts it to his son. The contrast is exact. Corrupted knowledge helped destroy the first world. Ordered knowledge helps defend the second. Noah is therefore more than the captain of the ark. He becomes the custodian of what humanity will need after the ark is opened. And now the strongest reason for his selection comes into view. Noah was chosen because the flood was not going to solve every problem. Enoch's prophecy about him contains a disturbing warning. After predicting Noah's survival, Enoch says that even greater unrighteousness will arise afterward. The man chosen to survive the first world is told in effect that the next world will not remain innocent. The water will cleanse the earth, but human freedom will remain. Memory can fade, commandments can be abandoned, spiritual evil can continue, families can divide, knowledge can again be used for rebellion. The new world will need more than survivors. It will need a witness who remembers the old one. That is why Noah carries 4 forms of continuity. Biological continuity through the animals, human continuity through his sons, intellectual continuity through the knowledge he records, spiritual continuity through covenant, worship, and divine command. The ark is therefore not merely a lifeboat. Placed across these traditions, it becomes a vessel of continuity. Inside, it is a compressed world, life in pairs, a family in waiting, the memory of judgment, the knowledge of survival, and one man trusted to release these things in the correct order when the waters recede. That may be the deepest reason Noah was chosen, not because he was capable of saving the world that existed. That world had already refused its warning. Noah was chosen because he could carry the pattern for rebuilding when it was gone. He could obey without understanding everything. He could preach without being heard. He could wait without knowing the exact day the door would open. He could receive knowledge without turning it into power over others. And he could hand what he knew to the generation that followed him. The 3 accounts are not equal in age or historical status. First, Enoch and Jubilees are ancient Jewish works preserved in the Second Temple tradition, while the narrative commonly called the Book of Jasher here comes from the later Sefer HaYashar tradition and cannot simply be identified with the lost book named in Joshua and Samuel, but read as interlocking interpretive traditions. They preserve a strikingly consistent portrait of Noah as more than a passenger who survived a disaster. He is the man who remains when every system around him fails. The corruption of the old world does not enter him. The ridicule of his generation does not silence him. The scale of the command does not paralyze him. The darkness of the coming judgment does not prevent him from preparing for life beyond it. And when the flood is over, he does not walk away from his responsibility. He teaches, he records, he blesses, he warns, he divides the inheritance, he gives the future a structure. At the beginning, Noah stands before an unfinished ark. To everyone watching, it looks like a monument to madness. But Noah is not building for the world that can see him. He is building for a world that does not exist yet. That is why he was chosen, not merely to escape the end, but to carry a beginning through it. Subscribe for more investigations into the hidden connections preserved across Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher, and I'll see you in the next video.